And now, please welcome the other co-sponsor of the Fred Korematsu Day bill, Assemblymember Warren Furutani, who represents South Los Angeles County. Assemblymember Furutani has more than 40 years of experience in education and public service. He has served as the president of both the Los Angeles Board of Education and the Community College Board of Trustees. Please welcome Assemblymember Warren Furutani.
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. I appreciate this opportunity to speak about Fred Korematsu Day, but more than that, I appreciate the fact that just coming here has been sort of a bit of a reunion. So many friends and colleagues in the audience that have been doing and laboring in the vineyard and fighting for civil rights for decades. I am honored to be a part of this gathering along with all of you that are here. We all know that in looking at particularly Fred Korematsu Day, it's one of those situations where an individual, and I don't know what Fred ate that morning, I don't know if he was particularly pissed off, I don't know if he was just straight fed up. Karen can talk about that, ask can his wife. But apparently he got up one day and said, damn it, I am just not going to do this. It's wrong. And I don't know what that woman, I don't know what happened to that woman during all day working in Montgomery, Alabama, tired, got on the bus, sat there, as she should, was her right, and really, because she was probably just really tired, someone came up and said, hey, you can't sit there, you have to go to the back of the bus. And she said, no, I'm not going to the back of the bus. Or, what makes a student during a demonstration, walking in Tenement Square, stop in front of a line of 4 tanks and impede their progress toward a demonstration and just stand as an obstacle against what he thinks is wrong? What all of that is, in my opinion, from where I sit, is an example of democracy, where people realize that as one single individual, you can change the world. You can change the world. And that's what makes Fred Korematsu so special. That simmering desire, that persistence, that stick-to-itness, that gaman, to continue to fight and let that demand for justice simmer after going to a local court, to the United States Supreme Court, and then 40 years later, go to the place where he would be vindicated. But when I brought the bill, the story of Fred Korematsu was not new to me by any means. I get introduced as a lot of things, but one of my proudest sources of introduction is the fact that I'm the son-in-law of Aiko Hersey Yoshinaga. And Aiko, those of you know, along with her husband Jack, was along with Peter Irons when they talked with Fred about a quorum nobis strategy relative to the information that she had dug up in the archives about what really happened and what truly was the motivation for Japanese being put in camp during World War II. But I just wanted to share this one thing with all of you in the audience. Marty, myself, and all that we work with in the legislature, Karen, the Institute, and all that were such strong advocates, particularly out of the San Diego area with this specific effort, all of that involved, who I give credit for passing this bill is primarily the Japanese American community, the Asian Pacific American community, and the civil rights community. For decades, from going to pilgrimages, redress reparations, fighting for all of the different things we've done, there's always been a component of educating the public relative to this important chapter in American history. And I'm here to tell you that when we brought the bill to the floor, to the policy committees, both in the State Assembly and the State Senate, there was not one no vote. Like many of you in the audience, I've been doing this a long time. And I remember people hollering out from different gatherings or different meetings and talking about how the camps never existed. Or people saying, that's right, you bombed Pearl Harbor, you should have been put in camp. All of those attitudes that we had to confront and deal with over 40 years. But in that process, what has taken hold is that fundamental spark for the demand for democracy that was in the heart and soul of Fred Korematsu, Gordon Hirabayashi, Min Yasui, Mitsui Endo, people that fought that issue on behalf of our community. That smoldering ember burned and grew to a prairie fire, where people will come out and fill an auditorium on the first ever Fred Korematsu Day of Civil Liberties in the Constitution, where people will now use it as a teaching moment, not only in law school, but in all of our schools in the state of California, and I hear already there's other efforts going on in other states as well. And as they learn about this extraordinary American, Fred Korematsu, what they're also going to learn is the value of civil liberties, of the ability of the Constitution to correct itself and make change as a fundamental democratic institution. So what we celebrate today is a great American. What we celebrate today is individuals that came together, the many attorneys and law students and people and advocates that fought this fight with Fred for the Coram Nobis petition and vacated the decision of the United States Supreme Court. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with you today and for the first ever Fred Korematsu Day. Thank you.